How's it going, pilots? This is Nick from Part-Time Pilot. It's a beautiful day today. Today I'm going to do a video on an example of what happens if your CG is out. You calculate your CG and it's out of the CG envelope. So my last video, we calculated a CG in an example that was right here. It's within bounds, we're safe to fly. But what happens if the intersection of your lines is up here and you find your CG to be out of the CG envelope and you are unsafe to fly? What do you do to get that within bounds? This is likely to come up in one of your exams. Either your instructor is going to ask or your flight examiner is going to ask you on your final check ride. So let's get started. Okay, so let's consider the same aircraft as the last video, but now this aircraft has had a bunch of modifications done to it. So there's been a bunch of new parts added to the empty weight of that aircraft. And let's say we added 200 pounds to the empty weight. So the empty weight before was 1,500 pounds and now it's 1,700 pounds. So we put 1,700 pounds in there for our empty weight. This means we have to calculate a new moment. So moment is weight times the arm. So 1,700 times 85.9 and we get 146,030. Now that we have a new empty weight, now we have to get a new ramp weight by summing up all these here to get 2358. As well, we have to do the same for the moment, add up all the moments to get the total ramp moment, which is 204,421. Then to get our arm for our ramp, we take our moment divided by our weight, and that gets us 86.7. And then once again, before, we know that we took off 7 pounds for the fuel used during engine start, taxi, and run up. So we subtract 7 here, we get 2351, and then we subtract moment as well to get 203,756. Again, we divide 203,756 by the weight, 2351, to get our CG of 86.7. So now let's go look at our envelope chart to see if that lies within bounds, and no, it does not. We find 86.7 down here, we draw the line up, then we find our weight 2351 over here, we draw that line over, and we find our intersection is not within the bounds. Okay, so what do we do now? Your examiner is going to say, alright, so can you fly? And you're going to say, no, not right now. We have to do something. We have to change the CG to make it safe to fly. We have to get that intersection within the bounds. So to do that, it's obvious that we either need to go down or over or both. Since the CG and weight are related by the moment, if you change either of them, you're going to change both of them. So what we're really going to do is we're going to move it this direction by a combination of either reducing the weight. So if we move the line down here, we're moving down the weight axis. And if we go over, we are making our CG further aft of the datum. So right now it's at 86.7 and we want it to go this way, so we'd love it to get higher and be further aft on our aircraft towards this aft limit over here. Okay, so how do we do that? So we know that the arm, the CG, equals moment divided by weight. So the only thing we can manipulate is we can add weight, subtract weight, or move weight. Okay, so the easiest thing to do is subtract weight. Okay, but let's just look at this equation real quick. So if we subtract weight, so this number goes down in the denominator. Okay, and let's just say the moment stays the same. Okay, if the moment stays constant and the weight goes down, the arm over here is going to go up, and that is what we want. If you remember, we wanted the weight to go down and the arm to go up. We want to go down and to the right on this chart. Okay, so how do we do that? Well, we can use this chart that's in our POH or AFM. It is a weight versus moment chart. And this is a handy chart because instead of calculating, all you have to know is the weight and where it's located, and you can find the moment. So each one of these lines is for a location on the plane. This line is for pilot and front passenger. This line is for the fuel. This line is for the back seat or aft passengers. And this line is for the baggage. So in order to move weight, reduce weight, and change the moment as little as possible, how do we do that? Well, we want to remove weight at a location that is closest to our current CG. Okay, so if we go back here, current CG is 86.7. all right, and we know these are our arms. We can move stuff from the pilot and front passenger seat at 80.5, the passengers rear seats at 118, fuel at 95, or baggage at 142. So the closest to 86.7 is either the pilot and front passenger seat or the fuel. You can also see this on this chart here by the line that has the highest slope. Okay, so the line that has the highest slope is a pilot and front passenger. That is the one that when the weight changes, the moment changes the least. Okay, and the second one is the fuel. All right, so we're probably not going to get rid of our front passenger or make them lose a bunch of weight, and we're definitely not going to fly without a pilot. So the easiest thing to do is take less fuel. We might have to add a fuel stop depending on our cross-country flight, but that's okay. That's the easy thing to do. Instead of taking, the full amount, we take, let's say, 10 gallons less. So what if we did that? What if we took out 10 gallons of fuel? We know that each pound of fuel is 6 pounds. Each gallon of fuel is 6 pounds. So 6 times 10 gallons is 60 pounds. Okay? So now if we subtract 60 pounds from our 288 pounds of fuel to get 228 pounds of fuel, now we have a new fuel weight, and we need to calculate new fuel moment. We do 228 times 95, and we get 21,660. Okay, again, this means we need to add up all these to get a new ramp weight, add up all the moments to get a new ramp moment, take moment divided by weight to get our CG, subtract 7 and 665 for the fuel we expect to burn during engine start, taxi, and run up, get our final takeoff weight, our final takeoff moment, and again, divide our moment by our weight. So we divide 198,056 divided by 2,291 to get 86.4. So let's now go back to our CG chart and see if that was enough. All right, so we find 86.4 down here. We follow that up. Then we go over here on this axis. We find 2,291. We draw that over, and we're very close. We are very close. We're just outside. Now this is not an exact science, so there's some error. We could really be, somewhere out here, or we could be somewhere in here. So to be safe, I would probably manipulate it a little bit more, but you can see that we were somewhere out here, and we have since, by just taking out some fuel weight, we have moved that CG down and to the right. Okay, so what else could we do if we wanted to do more? We wanted to manipulate this more. Okay, so we've already removed some fuel. Let's say we don't want to remove any more fuel. We already know that if we kept removing fuel, it would come down and to the right. So we would move it in the direction we need to if we wanted to remove more fuel. But let's say we don't want to remove any fuel. We have a good fuel stop and we need that much fuel. We feel safe with that much fuel, so we don't want to do that. What else can we do? Well, we know that we can either decrease the weight somehow, or we can move the CG more aft in this direction. So how do you move the CG more aft? Well, you can add more weight aft. So you can add weight to the back of the aircraft. So what if we added weight to the baggage area? What if we took some more baggage, or something easy, like what if we took 3 gallons of water? Okay, so 3 gallons of water is about 24 pounds. Water is always good to have. So what if we just added 3 gallons of water and put it in the baggage area? So that would be 24 pounds. So now we have 44 pounds in our baggage. We multiply that by the arm till we get our new baggage moment. We add up all the weights to get our ramp weight. We add up all our moments to get our new ramp moment. We divide the moment divided by the weight to get our ramp arm. And we subtract the fuel during engine start and taxi run up for weight and moment. We get a new takeoff weight, new takeoff moment. Divide moment of 201,483 divided by the weight of 2,315, and we get our CG of 87.0. Now let's go back again to the chart and see where that puts us. And looky here, we are a little bit more in there, just on the edge. So that has been an example of what to do if your CG is out of bounds. What can you manipulate? Just take a look at the chart, think of which direction you need to go on that chart, and think of what action would help you get there. And it's always easiest to start with fuel, and then the next thing that say is, okay, do I need to go more aft or more forward? Maybe I can add weight aft or more forward. And then if those don't work, then you might have to not take a passenger. And it's just as simple as that. So I have a note here that this is why it's important that you perform your weight and balance for your aircraft before you plan your cross-country flight, because again, you may take less fuel. That's the easiest thing to do, and sometimes it's the best thing to do to get your CG within balance. So you would not want to plan your entire cross-country with no fuel stop planned because you have enough fuel, only to then calculate your weight and balance, realize, shoot, I have to take less fuel. Now I don't have enough fuel to make it all the way. Now I have to plan a fuel stop. Now I have to put in a new checkpoint. Now I have to calculate a new course, a new heading, new winds, new airspeed, all that stuff. You don't want to do that. It's very frustrating. I've been there. I've done that. Do your weight and balance first. All right, thanks. If anyone has any questions, please comment below. And I want to remind everyone that all these slides, all my slides on Instagram, which is at part.time.pilot. All these slides, I have in a PDF that I'm giving out for free if you just subscribe to my YouTube. So what you got to do is you subscribe, take a screenshot of that, send me a direct message on Instagram. Again, that's at part.time.pilot. Send me the screenshot so I know you subscribed, and I will send you that PDF. It's over like 90 slides now. It's a great study tool. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next video as I continue on through the cross-country checklist, telling you all you need to know on how to plan a complete and thorough cross-country. Thanks.